Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
John sent me a story, and it's a variation on something we hear about quite a bit, porch piracy. You order something from Amazon or some other place, and it gets delivered via UPS or US Mail or FedEx or DHL or anybody else. And if it doesn't fit in your mailbox, or if it's being delivered by somebody other than US Mail, they got to put it on your porch or someplace like that. And there are people who will drive around and they see something on a porch, run up and grab it. Now, of course, it's kind of a weird thing to do because you don't know what's in the box. So I'll give you an example. I've ordered things valuable through the mail that wind up left on my front porch. But I've also had something left on my front porch that was, for instance, a box of soap. A box of soap. So I ordered a special kind of soap. So if somebody had stolen that, they'd get it home and go, oh, I got a box of soap? Like, is that worth committing a crime for? So here's one, though. Porch pirate steals package directly from FedEx driver. Somebody said, never seen anything like that. Madison Moore wrote for WRIC. John sent it. Thanks a lot. And by the way, this raises several questions, which John asked me in the email, but also some things that some people might not get right away. But out of Chesterfield County, a resident, and this is Virginia, had a package stolen while the delivery driver was bringing it to her front door. A surprisingly brazen instance of porch piracy that's caught on camera. So that's not a good thing in terms of, the perfect crime. The woman was working from home on the morning of Thursday, August 24th, when she heard a knock on her door. She said, I was in a meeting, and then the FedEx lady started knocking on my door really hard. I'm like, what's going on? FedEx delivery driver told her the package she was delivering had been stolen. Now, this package was an iPad ordered by her husband, so it was a valuable package. And the question I have is, was the packaging such that it was obviously an iPad? Or was this just a situation where the guy grabbed the thing, hoping it was valuable, and got lucky? So they then checked the doorbell camera, and of course it was all caught on camera. A man who did say he lived at the home walked up alongside her, but he did grab the package from her, ran off, and jumped in a white BMW and drove away. So another neighbor said he saw the incident while he's walking his dog. He's the one who said it's kind of crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. Usually people are sneaky about it. People are pretty desperate now. The Chesterfield County Police Department, which is handling the investigation, said a white BMW seen in the video is believed to be involved in another robbery that took place last month. Notice the word robbery. That's important here because theft is what most people want to think. Well, I take something that doesn't belong to me. It's theft. Yes, if it's laying on the porch. When you grab it from someone else's possession, it's robbery. Usually that's what they would call that in most states, robbery, which is stealing from a person. And so believe it or not, if the FedEx driver had placed it on the ground and the other person then ran up and grabbed it, they're not taking it from the driver. They're taking it from the porch. Okay? And that's extremely important because when they talk about punishing somebody for a crime, theft is a lower offense than robbery, which is stealing from a person. And so that's the number one concern. But the other thing about this, and this is what I just can't wrap my head around, is how do you know that what you're stealing is worth it? Because like I said before, I've ordered soap, I've ordered paper, printing paper. This blue paper comes in a box about yay big, okay? But the box doesn't indicate it's paper. And so if someone stole that box, they'd get a box filled with blue paper. What good's that going to do you? So that's the other concern. But the other interesting thing here is that the guy did apparently say, I live here, and grabbed it from her. And now, the fact that he said, I live here, I don't know if it's going to affect this case on a legal basis. But the interesting thing is that if you're a driver, you do encounter people who say, oh, I live here, and you wonder about it. So I can tell you that a couple houses back, I lived someplace where the house number was not terribly visible. And, you don't think about that until you realize that, delivery people might have a hard time with it. But, of course, if delivery people are using a GPS, and the GPS tells them to go to this house, there's a house on this side and a house on this side, well, hopefully they'll go, okay, the GPS must be right. And I know that a lot of times people will blindly follow those things off cliffs or into lakes and stuff. And so I would think that would be okay. But every now and then I had stuff misdelivered, oddly, to a house across the street, which, as you remember, is odds on one side, evens on the other. But that should never happen. But I remember I've been sitting before in my house, and I wasn't waiting for the delivery in that sense, but I got the ping on my phone, and I look at it, it's an Amazon update. And it says, your delivery is about to get delivered. You are 2 houses away or 3 houses away. And they've got the software set up to when they get within a certain range of your house for the delivery, it'll ping you to let you know that. So I've actually looked at the thing before, and they actually have a little map that shows a little dot moving. And I go, oh, the guy's actually, or the gal's actually near my house. I've actually walked out my house into the driveway and seen the Amazon driver drive slowly past and pull into the wrong house. And now, it's possible that I'm a second in line and that person over there in that house is first in line. But I've also seen the FedEx driver or the UPS driver, whoever it is, get out and be doing this. Because they're clearly wondering what's going on. So one example, I remember this vividly, where I walked across the street and called out the driver and said, "Are you looking for Steve Lehto?" And the guy looks at the package and goes, "Yes." And I go, "That's me." Now, I knew the name that was on the package. So that's a pretty good odds that there's a correlation between me and that package. But of course, I assure you that it's happened before where the FedEx driver or somebody is standing there looking around and somebody goes, "Oh, that's me," without saying their name. And now the question is, does the driver actually say, "Oh yeah, what's your name? What's your address? And so this person just, I said my name because I had anticipated that might be the issue. I said, "I'm Steve Lehto," and the guy looks and goes, "Oh, okay, here you go." And then 3 seconds later, I get a thing on my phone that says, "Your package was delivered. How was the delivery?" And then it notes handed directly to, the addressed person. So I feel sorry for the FedEx drivers because every time they toss something onto a porch, they're wondering, is somebody following them? I did a story a while back about a situation here in Michigan, I think it was in Macomb County, a little bit north of Detroit, where there were people the week or two before Christmas just driving around literally following UPS trucks. And so the guy would go up and deliver something, and he'd get back in his truck and start driving away, and the person would pull up, run up, grab whatever they just dropped off, and follow the truck around. So it's crazy, but nowadays, of course, the prevalence of Ring and similar cameras does make this seem a little riskier because the guy who did this, his face is clearly on camera. They got that, and they also saw what type of car it was, and they've identified that and linked it to other crimes. So someone like that is going to have more attention paid to him than if somebody simply called and said, "Hey, somebody ran up and grabbed my package and it's gone now. But all I can tell you is a general description of the guy and what was stolen." And they're going to be like, yeah, good luck with that. Here, to grab it from the driver directly, that is what escalates this. And it's a strange one. Because like I said, no one ever calls and asks for my advice before. Next time, make sure it's on the ground before you grab it. But I would never give criminals advice. I'm simply pointing out that was actually not a very wise move. So, John, thanks for sending from WRIC. Porch pirate steals package directly from FedEx driver, video shows. Never seen anything like that, one witness says. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me.